just what she sees there. There's a naked person in my flat.
Hi, my name is Neil, and I'm going to be doing 2 product reviews in one. The product reviews are going to include the almost Rodney Mullen Uberlite deck, as well as these Tensor response trucks. For the record, the wheels have nothing to do with the review. These are 50mm Excel dual durometers. I put these on here because I had to have something to roll on. I don't usually do board reviews or anything like that. The reason that I am doing this particular review is because of how limited the access that the average skater is going to have to this board. For one, they only made 500 of these, and for two, it's very expensive. The average retail cost for one of these decks alone is about $120, and you're not going to get it any cheaper than $100. So because of the rarity of the board, figured might as well go ahead and just do a full review on it that I'll be working on for the next few days. The board itself is known as Rodney Mullen's kind of baby. It has inside it an inner deck that's made of carbon fiber, and inside the carbon fiber deck, inside the wood, there's a low density foam core to make the board light. One thing that I found is that the board is indeed light when you grab it by itself. The trucks also are marketed as a very light truck, and that claim is valid. They are very light. You're going to notice one thing about this particular version of the Tensor trucks is that they don't have the plastic slider. From conversations that I've had with Steve Douglas from Dwindle Distribution, the idea is that a lot of skaters really just don't want plastic parts in their boards, so they designed this truck, which is something I'm going to have to get used to for the skater that doesn't want plastic parts. But anyway, one thing I should mention is about the trucks, and I almost went into it just a second ago, is that it's always a pain in the ass breaking in new trucks. No matter what, if you buy a second pair of your favorite kind of truck, it's always going to be a pain breaking them in, because bushings, when you first get them, they are of they turn their own way. They may be very firm, they may be too firm, they have to be broken in, whatnot. Either way, so breaking in the trucks is going to be one mission that I'm going to have to accomplish. But the other thing is the geometry of Tensors are very unique. They turn in their own way, and I'm used to riding Crux trucks and other types of trucks like that have a more traditional style kingpin, that have a certain turning radius. I typically do a lot of transition skating, although I do some street skating. So I'm going to take this board right off the bat. I'm going to take it out to I'm going to take the board out to an environment that it was really designed for. I'm going to take it to some places where you can skate technically with it. The board itself was designed by Rodney Mullen for the way Rodney skates, and he is very sensitive to weight and balance and different things. Give you some quick specs on this really quick. The board is really small. It's short. The wheelbase is pretty normal. It's about a 14-inch wheelbase. It's not a particularly wide board. I guess it may be about maybe 7.6, 7.75. I'm not completely positive on that. But one thing that you'll notice when you hold it or you stand on it is that the tail and the nose are almost exactly the same size. The nose is maybe a quarter of an inch bigger than the tail. As far as the concave goes, it's safe to say that this would be considered a very mellow concave, mellow to shallow, I'd say. Something else I'm going to have to get used to, because when I normally go out and buy boards, I like to have a really deep concave. Finally, one last thing I'll say about the board is that there may be a misconception with some people that the board is marketed as being indestructible, and it's not. Steve Douglas notified me, made sure to point out that the board is not indestructible. You can break it. So I was going to do a focus test on it, but I'm not going to do that now. The board is stronger. The claims say it is stronger, that the composite material inside the wood actually is about as strong as metal is. They wrapped it in wood rather than making an entire board out of the carbon fiber, because they say that it would it would feel like metal. It would vibrate too much. So they wrapped it up in wood, and that absorbs a lot of the vibrations that you feel. The inner layer is the inner composite layer is supposed to act like a rebar, so it will enhance the strength. And another thing is they don't use a traditional glue on this board. They claim to use some special specific epoxy that is supposed to harden up and be a lot stronger than regular glue. And actually, one last thing I'll tell you, and I think it's kind of funny. The board itself, when you get the deck, if you're one of the few that's lucky enough to get it, it's going to come in this metallic sleeve of a bag, which immediately reminded me of a little baggie like this that you get computer hardware in. And I think that's kind of a nod to the geekery that's involved with the design of the board. And as a computer geek myself, it was kind of the first thing that I realized when I was looking at this bag. And I was like, well, I'd buy hard drives or video cards and whatnot, and they'd be wrapped up in something like this. So I don't know if that's intentional or if that's just me reading way too much into it. And after this, I'm going to take it out and skate it on some terrains that it was definitely designed for. And then I'm going to bring it out to some terrains, and this is more in reference to the trucks now. I'm going to bring the trucks out into some terrains that they probably weren't designed for, as they were designed for the technical street skater. At least some of the older advertisements made that claim. I'm going to start off in that environment, but I'm also going to bring it to some transition, some concrete, and going to basically see how it holds up. See you in a bit. Now, right off the bat, I'm having some trouble getting used to the board. Partially, the trucks are giving me an issue. I can't really blame the trucks just yet. I don't know if it's because of the way that they turn naturally, or if it's because the bushings just haven't been broken in yet. But even after I've loosened the trucks, they still feel like they're tight, even though they do have a turn. The truck really wants to stay vertical. All trucks do that, but these, it's very accentuated, that need for the truck to be vertical and stay right up tight, right vertically along with the kingpin. It doesn't feel at the moment that I can carve out of a trick very comfortably. And the setup itself is really light, so I'm having some trouble right off the bat getting used to that.